So I figured that this would be a really important video to make, just because there's so many different myths and things going on about asexuality and aromanticism, which are probably the two least understood, the two least understood little section thingies of the Lgbtqia+. And a lot of people think it stands for ally, which it doesn't. Not at all. Straight ally is not a sexuality. You can't identify yourself, your sexuality as a straight ally. That's impossible. Anyway, I've got some questions on my phone to help me things, because these are things that I've been asked myself, as I identify myself as a grey asexual, which I'll go on to explain. Anyway, I was thinking this would be like a little mini-series kind of thing on all the spectrum. I'm going to make more follow-up to this. That's why it has a funny title, just because that's the only really thing I could think of. And considering Narnia, because you usually say about people they're coming out of the closet, but with people who are asexual and aromantic and agender, it's more like coming out of the Narnia wardrobe, because a lot of people think it doesn't exist, when it really actually does. Anyway, so I'm going to get to the video. So, the first question I always get is, so what is asexuality? Does it mean you split yourself in half and reproduce on your own? Asexuality is someone who does not experience sexual attraction. It's a sexual orientation, and unlike celibacy or abstinence, it's not a choice. You can't just be like, I want to be this, I want to be that. A lot of asexuals do remain celibate, just because that's their choice, that's what they feel comfortable with. Not all are. Some love sex, some have it all the time, but they just don't feel a sexual attraction to people. This does not mean they go around having sex with animals. They don't feel a sexual attraction to people or an object. Some people who are called grey asexual, like myself, do feel a small amount of sexual attraction, but it's low enough to be still classed within the asexual umbrella. And it could have happened at one point in their life, but doesn't anymore. They still count that. Or only under certain circumstances. For example, demisexuals, which are like grey asexuals, they can only feel a sexual attraction to someone once a deep emotional connection has been made. So, once you get to know them, once you've been with them for a long time. Okay, a misconception is that they're never going to have sex ever again. They're a prude. They're a virgin. A lot of asexuals, they aren't. We aren't at all. Anyway, another question is, I still have sex, so I must not be asexual. You can still masturbate. You can still have a libido. You can still experience sexual arousal. Watch porn, have sex, enjoy sex. Or you can be in a relationship, appreciate people's appearances. Like, I will say, you're attractive, you're beautiful, but I don't feel like someone's sexy. I've never said that about anyone. You can like to kiss and cuddle, have kinks, fantasize, been sexually assaulted, want children, and experience a romantic attraction. For example, a lot of people, misguided by what some people call Tumblr asexual elitists, lead people to believe that asexuals don't have sex at all. They're repulsed by it. Sex makes them feel disgusted, and that's not true. Some asexuals are like that. Some are not. So it's a personal choice remaining celibate, and you know, it doesn't make anyone less of an asexual just because they choose to have sex. Anyway, what is aromanticism? Aromanticism means you don't feel any romantic attraction. This does not make them heartless, unfeeling, robotic, and it's different to aromantic. It's different to asexual. Some asexuals are aromantic too, and some aren't. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly normal. Okay. So, can you fall in love? Like, a lot of people ask me that, like, you know, you're with someone, what's the point? You know, you're asexual, you can't, what is that? So, aromantics can't fall in love. They will never experience that. That's perfectly fine, that's okay. But asexuals, there are quite a few different types of asexual romanticism, including, and not limited to, gyneromantic, which is the attraction to girls. Andromantic is the attraction to boys. Gynoromanticism, I can never say that word, which is the attraction to androgynous people. Heteroromantic, which is obviously where you identify yourself as cis and you're attracted to the same sex. Homoromantic, gay. Biromantic, basically bisexual. And panromantic, which is basically pansexual. I am panromantic. And transromantic, where you're attracted to trans people, but not in a sexual way, obviously, if you understand. I'm going to make another video all about the different types of asexual romanticism, just because there's more than that. You know, those are just the most known ones, and I think the ones that are easier to understand in a short video like this. Anyway, what asexuality and aromanticism is not. Asexuality is not a lack of sexual drive or inability to feel sexual urges, in the same way that aromanticism is not a complete lack of emotions. You know, aromantics aren't like unfeeling to everything. They still get sad, they still feel happy, they have all normal emotions, they just don't fall in love. Like, that's perfectly normal. Just like asexuals, we don't feel a sexual attraction. You don't, you know, necessarily feel, oh, that person's so sexy, I want to have sex with them. You know, for example, when I was little and I did not know what asexuality was, I assumed that when people were like, you know, I want to bang them, all that kind of stuff, I assumed it was more, you know, of something just people said. That's what I thought it was. I thought people were like, for example, this is a attractive girl walking down the street, and people were like, yeah, I really want to tap that. I just assumed that that was just a way to say, like, they're really, really attractive. When I think of people are attractive, and, you know, I would think, you know, I really want to get to know them, I want to date them, not, you know, wow, I really want to have them penetrate me, I really want to do all this kind of stuff to them. Like, I've never felt that way, and it's quite difficult to explain, you know, just in a small video. And, you know, that's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. I've only recently discovered that that is what asexuality is. I always thought it was something where you never have sex ever, you remain a virgin until the day you die, which is not true. It's just a myth. A lot of asexuals have had sex. A lot of them continue to do. You know, but the most important thing when, you know, if you're dating an asexual person, don't push them. Make sure they're comfortable with what you're doing. Like, some of them don't want sex at all. They don't want to be touched. You've got to know their boundaries, and them saying yes once, like to a certain thing once, that does not mean yes forever. They might feel comfortable at that time with sex. They might not feel comfortable after that. That's just how they are. And, you know, it's something we deal with. When people say, oh, you know, I'm asexual, that does not mean, oh, you're only saying that because, you know, you can't have any sex, you know, no one's attracted to you. That's not what it is at all. At all. It's just something that you learn to deal with, and it's fine. It's the same as being a sexual person. I don't really see any difference, apart from no sexual attraction, or very, very little. Like, there's one person that I've been sexually attracted to, and that was, I guess, demisexual. Part of that, because I only started to feel that way after a long time of knowing them, dating them for a long time, and then I just didn't feel it anymore. Never have since, never have before that, and I don't think I ever will. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm still a person. I still enjoy sexual activities. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make me any less of the person I am. But some elitists believe that, you know, you can't have sex, you can't enjoy sex, you can't do anything sexual, you've got to be this innocent little child if you're asexual. A lot of asexuals have very dirty minds, like incredibly disturbing minds, just because, you know, they know about that stuff. We're not innocent, we're not stupid, we're not like babies. You can still have fetishes, kinks, all of that kind of thing revolving around your life, but still not feel a sexual attraction to a person. Like, you can still have, for example, a DDLG or BDSM lifestyle. You just don't feel a sexual attraction to a person, if that makes sense. I don't know if like this has helped anyone understand themselves, maybe understand anyone else. Like, your friend could have come out to you and, you know, you don't know what it is, so you've looked it up on YouTube or something. You know, as always, when someone, you know, tells you what they are, don't be ridiculous and be like, that doesn't exist, or like make some stupid remark. Like with pansexuals, don't be like, so you like to have sex with pans? Obviously not. I've got that so many times, so many jokes made out of that. You know, it does get old after a while. And being a grey asexual, pan-romantic myself, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, this is all new Tumblr stuff. It's not Tumblr stuff, it's putting a label on yourself so you feel like you fit into something. You feel like you fit into, you know, a little place of your own. It's very confusing, especially if you're not, you know, you're cis, het, you know, completely sexual, completely romantic. You know, it's very difficult for, you know, you to understand, but we're completely normal. We're normal people. It's just, you know, we want to feel like we fit in, because it's not a new thing. It's been around for all time. It's not new. It's just words are now being made so that you feel you can fit in something. And when you discover that there is a name for something that you feel relieved inside, because you know you're not the only one. You know you're not broken. You know that you're not a freak. which is why, you know, it's so important to have these labels. Like, if you don't like labels, don't use them. It's that simple. But don't discriminate anyone just because they identify themselves a certain way. Like, even in the LGBT community, asexuals and aromantics do get a lot of discrimination, even more than pansexuals and bisexuals in the community, just because they're seen as, oh, you're not, you know, this, you're not that. Like, it's so unfair, and, you know, I'm pretty much as gay as you can get without being gay. You know, you can still be queer and still just be asexual. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're never gonna have sex, because you are. A lot of the time, you do. You can like sex, like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're just not attracted to the person, and that's what's difficult for a lot of people to understand. Anyway, I hope this has helped some people. Like, when I found the word for how I was feeling, I just felt so much more at peace with myself, because I knew that I wasn't, you know, all alone in the world. But I know this was kind of a bad video, not really good at explaining anything, but I really hope it helped. Yes.